Today's yes day, which means I can't say no and I must say yes to everything for 24 hours, but no, I can't do that. I don't even know if that's a real thing. Why do people keep asking about that? What's going on, you guys? James here with another reel review, and today I'm diving into the Netflix family film Yesterday, starring Jennifer Garner, Edgar Ramirez, and Jenna Ortega. It's directed by Miguel Arteta, and it releases on March 12th. Thank you to the team over at Netflix for giving me a chance to review this. I have to tell you guys, this movie surprised me. Now, if you don't know much about the movie, it follows parents Allison and Carlos as they decide to give their 3 kids a yes day where they must say yes to everything for 24 hours and they can't say no. And the kids in this movie come up with 5 big asks, which are different events throughout the day where their parents must say yes and they can't say no. It is kind of a blast, and I'll tell you exactly why this movie worked for me the way it did, and I'll definitely let you know what didn't work for me. But before we get into it, guys, if it's your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I talk about movies early like this all the time. So if you don't want to miss out on my reviews and my review for the Snyder Cut next week, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap on the bell so you don't miss out. Guys, hit that like button if you are a fan of movies. That's about it. And go ahead and get loud in the comments below and let me know when you see this film, did you like it? If you've seen it already, what did you think of the movie? Alrighty, well guys, let's get into the very first thing that worked for me. Yesterday really is just a cute, family-friendly film, and director Miguel Arteta clearly understands the audience for this movie. And I'm glad he didn't try to overextend his hand here. He was able to just cater to that audience, but he provided enough material for adults to latch onto as well. I was actually surprised at how much I laughed and smiled during certain scenes, and I think adjusting my expectations helped. The movie does suffer from some very cringy dialogue, which we'll talk about later on, but overall I felt like the cast definitely was having fun, and there were some moments, especially towards the end, at this foam party where you can tell that our main actors and actresses have a very real chemistry. And honestly, our main cast is pretty likable, and it begins with Jennifer Garner. She plays Allison, the mother, and she is unfortunately hated by her children because she's not the fun parent, but this yes day could not come at a better time for her. Jennifer Garner totally buys into the role, and I've always really liked her, but in this movie she doesn't try to overact or even do more than what the script called for. She's just herself, and that natural spark of charisma just bleeds through the screen in this movie. Then there's Carlos, the father, played by Edgar Ramirez. I have only seen him in HBO's The Undoing before this film, but honestly, he's so darn charming. He just exudes happiness and has this carefree, youthful spirit. He doesn't always deliver jokes very effectively, but he was good enough for this film, and he actually helped carry it through some of the more grounded moments. And then we have the 3 children of the family who organized this yes day, beginning with the oldest sibling, played by Jenna Ortega, who you might know as Ellie in Netflix's You, and then you have the dynamic duo of Julian Lerner and Everly Carganilla, who had good enough chemistry to get me through the film. Now let's start with Jenna Ortega. She brings a very mature tone to the movie, and I really appreciated that. She helps ground the film as well, and she gives us the only dramatic moment in the entire film. So I appreciate the fact that they used her and really good moments between Jennifer Garner to help this film kind of get to another level. And then there's Julian Lerner and Everly Carganilla, who were not only adorable, but they were just so funny together too. So again, I just really enjoyed this family. This dynamic, guys, it worked for me. They sold it enough, and yes, it has a formula to it, I get it, but I was able to see past it, and I felt that it just was so darn cute. It was adorable, and I think it will resonate with adults and with kids. And then there's something else that really worked for me, and that was one standout performance. Oh man, guys, Nat Faxon was just hilarious as Mr. Deegan, the school's PE teacher. He brings such a natural comedic timing to every scene he's a part of. I was laughing the hardest, guys. It was hilarious. There's one scene involving tater tots that it just made me laugh. I don't know what it is about his character. It got me so good, and I was literally hurting at my sides. His comic relief definitely was much needed during some of the rougher patches of this film. But let's get into the final thing that worked well for me in this movie, and that is when you get through that rough 10 to 15 minute opening, I found it to be a very heartwarming story. And that's what Yesterday is all about, guys. It's about a movie that you can definitely relate to if you're a parent or if you're a kid. There's a message about family hidden underneath this otherwise fun, silly, and crazy movie, but it's light enough for the entire family to watch. So if you're a parent, I think you'll relate to Jennifer Garner and Edgar Ramirez, and if your kid's 18, or maybe you're just like me, a 20-something-year-old who remembers their teenage years very well, you'll probably relate to these 3 little troublemakers. But guys, that's why Yesterday works. Now let's get into the couple of things that really did not work for me in this movie, and I cannot excuse this film's writing and the conversations that our characters have. I'm sorry, but I've grown tired of films and TV shows using trendy words like fleek and hashtag in the middle of sentences because it's unnatural. The characters that say that in this movie don't even buy into it. So I just really wish scripts would turn away from that and screenwriters would know that millennials and Gen Zers don't say fleek and hashtag in sentences as much as they think we do. And then when it comes to Katie, the oldest child, who's played by Jenna Ortega, she has a storyline where her goal is to get to Fleek Fest with her friends. I'm not even kidding you guys. It's called Fleek Fest. I mean, it's just lazy writing. So not only did that pull me out of the movie, I also didn't like some of the conversations adults were having. I can't name you one parent that would say obvi in a sentence. I mean, really? And then there were times where the film doesn't know when to pull away from certain sequences. Maybe adults will notice this more than children, but I do feel like we were in certain scenes and moments for just way too long, and it dragged along the film and it killed momentum. The biggest offender really was the water balloon sequence. I could not care for it. It was almost 5 minutes long, I feel like, and it didn't do anything for me. It wasn't funny, it didn't provide any sort of suspense, and it didn't move the story along. If anything, it served as just moments to make Jennifer Garner, the mom, feel like she's big, bad, and queen of the castle. And that's okay, but do we need 5 minutes of that? And then you start to notice scenes lingering a little bit more after this moment. They just weren't enjoyable, they weren't funny, and unfortunately, they didn't feel like they added anything to the movie. There's this bit with a paramedic that was okay at first, but then they just dragged it along, and I could not tell you I cared for it. So it's different moments like this where I feel like the director, the screenwriter, they needed to trim it down, and it might have made this film, which comes in very close to 2 hours, feel a little bit more concise and coherent. So overall, you guys, Yesterday really is just a family-friendly film and not much more than that. This won't be something that'll be up for any awards, but it is a movie that will touch your heart in a special way if you'll let it. That's the thing. You have to come into this film with an open mind. You can't come in thinking you're gonna get the best family-friendly movie ever, but it's something light, it's fun, it's something you can sit down with a family and say, you know what, it's safe, I'll have a fun time, but hey, I can relate to what the parents are going through, or I can relate to what this teenager is going through. So I really enjoyed it. There are some adorable performances here, and surprisingly, it has a charm to it once we get to the Yesterday portion of the film that I didn't expect it to have. And for a film that did have a lot of cringy dialogue and moments that lasted way too long, I couldn't believe that I was laughing out loud with a lot of the jokes here. It's a film that took me by surprise, and it has a little bit of charm that goes a long way. So guys, Yesterday is a film that if you're a mother, a father, or maybe you're just someone who wants a very cute escape from the everyday drama TV shows or movies, give Yesterday a chance and it might surprise you too. So there you have it, you guys. That's my real review of Yesterday, a film that drops again on Netflix March 12th. But hey, I want to know what you guys have to say about it, so get loud in the comments below. If you've seen it, let me know what you think, and also let me know what your favorite Jennifer Garner movie is. Go ahead and smash that like button, and go ahead and hit the big red button below. Subscribe to the channel and tap on the bell, guys, so you don't miss out on reviews, reactions, and a lot of news in between. Alrighty, y'all. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening. But still, I'm saying no to some things today. I'm not saying yes to everything.